It is my distinct pleasure to extend my warmest greetings to all of you who are here attending the 2018 Bikila Award ceremony on this beautiful first night of autumn with all the finest people in our great city of Toronto. I'm delighted and privileged to offer my heartfelt congratulations to the 2018 Bikila Award winners, their families, and to all members of the community and dear friends of Ethiopia.
እፎ ይሴኒ ነጽሮ ቡራኬ ቢቂላ ጠፈረ እፎ ይሴኒ ነጽሮ ቡራኬ ቢቂላ ጠፈረ ጌታቸው ፀሐየ እንተ አእምሮ ዘከብረ ጌታቸው ፀሐየ እንተ አእምሮ ዘከብረ.
The Ethiopian youth are calling for our help. And this is the primary goal of the German-Ethiopian Foundation. We have to get involved. It's not just about culture. It's not about the past. It's about the future of this intelligent youth. And it's about the future of Africa.
Our history is beautiful, and we can see that even with the ancient language that originated in our land. The oldest known inscription of Ge'ez has been dated to the 3rd century, and it's still here today. We see that in University of Toronto offering it as a language course. This is so important because it's providing Ethiopian youth of this day with the opportunity to peer into their culture's past and learn to love their roots. Another thing that we're also known for is our kindness amongst one another. I've never seen so many fights arise just from Habeshas trying to pay the restaurant bill. While this kindness between people in our lives is amazing, there's also a joy that comes from giving to those outside our immediate circle of friends and family. We've been blessed by God, so let's be a nation that's marked by our desire to freely share those blessings, whether that means volunteering our time, money, or strength. With that being said, it's impossible to say all of this without acknowledging those that have volunteered their money, time, and strength to making this ceremony possible. Support from a community like this is what will continue to inspire the next Ababa Bikilas of this generation to go on and achieve great things. Thank you.
As the weeks went on, I thought about this phrase even further. It is not me who graduated, it's my whole family. My whole family. The key word is whole. I challenge any Ethiopian student here today to try to list the names of every adult responsible for getting them to where they are today. I personally do not think I own enough paper to finish that list. Being Abisha is synonymous with being in a community. There are countless names and faces that played such a huge role in my life, in shaping my personality, and in giving me the character I needed to succeed in the outside world. A lot of you are here in this room today, and I want to say genuinely thank you. I appreciate all of you. A big point that I really want to state today is that one of the most crucial sources of support in our Ethiopian community doesn't just come from the adults that are older than us, but from our own peers who are our own age. When I was in high school, there was only one other Abisha student in my school, and we didn't just succeed individually, we fed off of each other's ambition and used that as fuel to grow. We didn't come close to achieving honor roll until grade 11. By the time we ended grade 12, we had the highest averages in our school, and we were valedictorian and salutatorian, the only Ethiopians in the entire high school. We got into some of the best business schools in Canada, but we did that together, and that's what being Ethiopian is all about. Now, our school was predominantly Caribbean or African, so it's not necessary that we stuck out, but we weren't the same either. Which leads me to this question: what makes Abisha people different from others? The answer lies in our culture. My father always tells me that as a man, your character is the most valuable possession that you have. He once told me that when you leave a room, the way people will describe you is your legacy. Our culture is generational. That means that the values that your parents have are passed down to you and influences how you treat the people around you. So I keep in mind that wherever I go, I'm not representing just myself, but my parents and all of you who are in this room today.
African Americans have very little knowledge of this story, and it's sad.
Haile Selassie protests to the League that the Italians have already invaded Ethiopia.
Many Ethiopians did not accept him. He said, who am I not to face my enemy? Of course I shall face him, even if it meant going at a tank with a spear or with a sword.
demonstrations in Chicago, 5,000 people. In Harlem, 20,000 people demonstrated. In the Caribbean, in Jamaica, 5,000. They all wanted to fight for justice, for the dignity of the black man.
Redemption song by Bob Marley. We must emancipate ourselves from mental slavery because whilst others might free the body, none but ourselves can free the mind. That's Marcus Garvey writing about what he's learned about the invasion of Ethiopia.
You ran guns to Ethiopia. You fought against the fascists in Spain. What of it? Isn't it strange that you always happen to be fighting on the side of the underdog?
And amidst all this chaos, as rioting breaks out just before the Italians enter on the 3rd of May, 1936, George Steer, Margarita de Herrero are married by the British consul.
Italy came with their modern aircraft with machine guns. And in fact, they particularly were looking for this black American who thought he was going to lead the Air Force.
I didn't mind being attacked, but I wish my airplane had been of a later type. I think it would have given them a wonderful lesson.
And London shows its sympathy for this last dark-skinned Christian emperor by the warmth of its welcome.
He had some savings, he had some trust funds for the children, but his income was tiny. He couldn't afford to pay the electricity bill. They needed neighbors and friends to provide coal for the heating during the winter, and he had to sell off some of the family silver.
So people, we had 60, 70 people a day dying.
The governor there doesn't want him at all. It's an embarrassment. He's getting on terribly well with the Italians. Former consul at Harare flies down and says, for goodness sake, you can't be having polo matches with the Italians. We're at war with them.
There is the most tremendous fighting around the town of Keren in the west of Eritrea.
And I ask you, how many Ethiopians do you know who have ever seen the Ethiopian emperor, A, without his jacket, and B, playing billiards?
ግማሹ በፈረስ በጦር በእግር በጎራዴ ነው ሲዋጋ የነበረው። ውጊያውም እንደዚሁ ነው።
The Abyssinian campaign is incredibly important. This is the first occupied territory that is liberated in the Second World War.
It should get that kind of recognition. It was such a major force in history.
This is a war to redeem hope, to give to the peoples of the world a chance to live and breathe, to create for them a future where moral and spiritual values shall prevail.
I said, this is Ethiopia.
You can be ambassadors of your own history. If someone like me can be so curious, so enthralled by the unique history of an African nation, there must be others, not just academics and scholars. There just has to be. And you can tell people, this is for you. Explore it with us. Celebrate it with us. Join us in celebrating this with us. We have to instill in others that curiosity, that sense of wonder and shared world heritage. You saw that old man in the video earlier. He's talking about the Denane concentration camp. That's my friend Imru Zelike. He used to be an ambassador for Haile Selassie. He's 94 years old. When he passes on, that's it. I spoke with General Jagama Kello. We lost him in early 2017. He's gone. We can't go back and film him. This is like the Holocaust Project. We need to get these people on film and recorded so that everybody will have the record in the future. This story is about how one country stood up and said, no, we're not going to let this happen to us. It needs to be told. It needs to be remembered. So I am asking for your donations to help us tell it. Help us spread the legend and finish the film. Thank you very much.
Thank you.